pass-fail at this point, okay? Once you get out of the school system, there's no more GPA, it's really just pass-fail. All right, and look, where we are today, this was last month. I think Imgur had an even better month. We'll talk about that later. But like, when we started, we just wanted to make something for 10 people or 100 people. That's all Steve and I wanted to do. And so don't get caught up with where you might be 8 years from now or 9 years from now. Solve a problem for the first 100 people. Make something 100 people can look at or 1,000 people love. And that's not just your startup, that's your Etsy store, that's your photo blog, that's your Kickstarter campaign, that's your whatever. Right? Don't get too wide-eyed and starry-eyed about what might be. Solve a problem, make something valuable for the first 100, the first 1,000, and know that there will be competition. Yeah, about that. It's a site called Dig. And they clearly know how to use CSS, right? So that was an issue. Furthermore, they had a celebrity founder, Kevin Rose, who announced Dig on his TV show. He mentioned it's his website, but still, he announced it on his TV show to the world. And we're thinking, all right, so they got a celebrity founder, they know how to use CSS, they're doing something pretty similar, different but similar. And all right, they're in Silicon Valley, woo! Right, they have term sheets and unicorns, made millions of dollars in VC funding. We were in a suburb of a suburb of a suburb of Boston called Medford, and we had 12 grand in the bank. And we were looking over there thinking, shit. Like they are everything that is right, and we are two random dudes who have no idea what we're doing. 12 grand in a suburb of a suburb of a suburb of Boston. We're doomed. But we had amazing advisors, people like Jessica Livingston, who said, do not care about them. Do not care about your competition at all. But we were like, I was scared. I was scared. I was next level scared. Like, prove it. Everyone always asks, how are you different from me? And I was like, listen, we didn't know about them until a week after we launched. And I have the proof. I found the email. That's it. I said team-wide, well, to Steve, email. You know his syllabus because it was all caps in the subject line. Look, that's the mark of a skirt now, all right? And I was worried. But like I said, we had advisors who told us, like, don't care. But we really tried our best not to because they were, in the end, so absolutely right. Right? Dig and all the Dig clones are long gone. And it was because we had people telling us, just no. And it got drilled into our heads. Where we were just first in the school, we still didn't know. It seemed like there's the Goliath, right? But Grumpy Cat's actually a great metaphor for this, in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, hear me out. Grumpy Cat has more competition every day than we will all have our entire lives, right? Because Grumpy has to be better than every cat on the internet. Right? Grumpy, so you think Grumpy wakes up scared? No, Grumpy ain't got no time for that. No, Grumpy ran out of dance to give many years ago. And that's great, that's how you have to be, right? That's how you just don't care. If you're doing anything interesting, there's going to be someone at some point competing. And look, the people you should care about, people like Andrew. Now, Andrew, this is before social media, so the way you sort of share your ideas with the world is a blog. This was his blog. He had about 10 people probably reading it all year. But 2 of them were me and Steve. The first 2 comments in this post. That's because this is the first ever post written about Reddit. Ever. It was before TechCrunch, please. TechCrunch took 18 months to write about us. All right? This dude Andrew is like a superhero to us. Because we were just those 2 dudes in an apartment wondering if anyone was going to care. He was the first one to. Steve is giving him tech support in the comments on his blog. This dude, here's the CTO coming out because we were so thrilled that someone cared. And these are the people, the first ones who, like I said, back your Kickstarter, the first ones who shop at your Etsy store, the first ones who just get in there, right? Are the ones you have to treat like gold because no one else will. And I can prove it because I didn't take these screenshots 8 years ago. I took these screenshots a few months ago. Because this blog is long gone, and I found it using the Wayback Machine. And I remembered enough about this random guy's blog 8 years later to find it in the Wayback Machine. That's how much Andrew means to me. I still don't know who he is. He's just some dude named Andrew whose blog is long gone, but he's still a hero to me because he's the first person to ever care about what we make. Those are the ones you have to cherish. Like waffles, which I already told you are life-changing. Right? Waffle House, good for waffles and epiphanies. Just saying, change life. The other thing though, the other reason I like thinking about waffles is just because, startups are very up and down, right? We had one heck of a meeting, maybe 4 months in Reddit. So Steve and I, things are going well, site's growing. Steve and I got an invitation to come out to Silicon Valley. were so excited. It was our first trip. We made a mix CD. We were serious. We were excited. And we got out there and we had this meeting with it was this company called Yahoo. And so this executive out there, he invited us out. He brought his whole team. He said, "We want to hear about Reddit. Tell us all about it." Yeah, okay. They gave us free M&Ms. Like, this is amazing. We're in Silicon Valley right now. This executive wants to hear about this thing we made. And so we start telling him. And a few minutes in, he just cuts me off. And he's like, hold on. How much traffic, that's what he sounded like, how much traffic do you guys have anyway? Well, we just launched, it's growing week over week, probably maybe 10 or 12,000 users. He laughs at us. He's like, you guys are a rounding error compared to Yahoo. What are you even doing here? And I was like, well, you invited us. Is that like a thing you guys do at Yahoo? You just bring us make fun of them? Can we get some more M&Ms? So that meeting did not go well. We headed back to Boston that next day. But I'll tell you, it was incredibly helpful. Because the first thing I did when I got back to my room was I printed something out and put it on my wall right next to my desk. And it said, "You are a rounding error." And I looked at it every morning. I wanted to know exactly who Steve and I were going to be proving wrong. And this became my wall of negative reinforcement. I used to put all that stuff up there and I would eat it up every day. So my best tip is this, listen, there are going to be constructive critics who are amazing, right? They're the ones who make us better, they're the ones who keep it real, they're the ones who help us improve, they're invaluable. And then there are going to be haters. Haters are going to hate. Right? That's scientifically proven. Right? But be the honey badger. Alright, honey badger don't give a shit. Right? Use it as motivation, use it as fuel, eat it for breakfast every morning like waffles. Don't let it stop you, let it drive you. This guy, he's still in tech. I never named him, and I'm sure he doesn't remember that meeting, but I cannot wait to meet him again so I can thank him. Thank him for all of the motivation he still gives me to this day because of what he said. I'm still grateful for it. So like I said, find your motivation, find your fuel from it, and know you can get started right now. Like I said, I've got stories, whether they're in the book or just people I've come to know on this tour. It's a young woman named Maya. She started because she wanted an eco-friendly fashion line, and she was really into apparel. She started selling it from her home. She had this little storefront. It was doing so well in a few years. She was able to start a nonprofit, taking profits from this business. She began starting from her home. I found her after, I think, her second TED Talk, and I was so blown away because I forgot she's also 14. And I thought, here's a young woman who makes me feel like I wasted my adolescence, but who is undeniably reaching her maximum potential for awesome, and who I couldn't have imagined would be able to do nearly as much as she has around here. She has some amazing parents. Actually, I think down in Atlanta at the University of Georgia. But like, she's got an amazing team around her. But like, she is awesome, and she can do that now thanks to the internet, right? In a way that I could have only dreamed of. So many of us could have only dreamed of, and it's great, right? That's the promise. That's the hope. Yeah, I talk about an artist in the book named Lester Chambers, who was a member of the Chambers Brothers in the 60s and the 70s. He made gold records like that one. He just never got paid because the music industry signed some terrible deals with him and just refused to pay him. And so, a few years ago, he was penniless, absolutely penniless. He hadn't squandered any of his money, he just never got it. And so, frustrated, he took this photo, posted it on his Facebook, and his fans responded. Hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter, on Facebook, hit #1 on our music. They all said to him, "Lester, what can you do to help?" And he was like, "Well, I don't know, let me try. There's this new website called Kickstarter." And he raised $60,000. This is the first time in Lester's life that he actually was able to make an album he owned himself. The profits from it, the music, this is all him. There was no parasitic middleman. It was him and his fans. And look, this is not a magic wand. This doesn't mean all the injustice that Lester or artists like him are gone. They're not. Unfortunately, they're not. But what it means is for a generation of creatives going forward, there's a new way. Right? And you should hear the way Lester talks about it, talks about the internet today. Right? He's 73 now, and he sounds like a startup founder. Because he, for the first time in his career, got to see that connection between fan and artist. And look, Kickstarter is not even an endpoint, right? That's just one platform that didn't exist 5 years ago and is about to pass $1 billion between people like us with credit cards and other people like us with creative dreams, right? And that's just one. It's not an endpoint, it's just the beginning. And it means a new way. There's so many others. Because look, I can't stress this enough. time to get started, all right? Failure is an option right now because no one is looking. That baby's never gonna be that smooth, by the way. Nope, all day, just failing. But look, that's okay, right? You're in a place. I know our education system. No, it really is never gonna get it. Our education system makes us fear failure at all costs. Right? You're here because you're good at not failing. Right? You're good at passing tests, you're good at reaching the next level. After this point, GPA, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Failing is an option because sucking, frankly, is the first step to being sort of good at something. Right? Adventure Time knows what's up. So seriously, like, everyone sucks at anything they start out for the first time. That's okay, that is life, right? It's not, if you can remember nothing else, please, if you remember nothing else from this talk, Bobcats, it is to go forth and suck. I mean, obviously don't take that out of context. You know what? Live your life. Go on. Go on. Because look, my favorite story about this is not even about a founder of a startup. No. It's about a guy who failed at the University of Georgia, couldn't hold a job. He tried a half dozen jobs, everything from bond trading to Applebee's. Okay? And he failed every one of them. This dude was, by all accounts, a total screw up. And he went to his friends and family one day and was like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I think I have a plan. I'm going to move to New York and take pictures. And we were like, dude, you don't even own a camera. And you suck at photography. Like, you're bad. This is your worst plan yet. He was like, yeah, I know. I'm going to get a camera now. I'm going to try to get better. They were like, good luck. You'll need it. He moves up to New York. And man, a few months goes by and he is terrible. He's an awful photographer, but he keeps working at it. He starts obsessing